Again, before we start the video, this video is not made for kids. It's for older fans of the show and adults only. So shut your fucking mouth or you'll get fucking cold for Christmas. Again. A very Great Waterton Christmas. It was getting close to Christmas in Great Waterton, where preparations were underway. There was to be presents delivered to Ulfstead on Toby's line. There were high spirits at the station, with goods arriving at the station by Flora and Stanley. Flora was in good spirits as well, even though the snow had fallen on the ground, while she and Stanley were bringing passengers to the Great Waterton Christmas market during the 3 weekends in December before Christmas. The Stationmaster of Great Waterton, Mr. Ross Pope, was in good spirits too. Come in. Ah, Mr. Pope, we have a confirmation of more goods for Ulfstead. There is another truck to attach to Flora's train on Christmas Eve. Ah, good, replied the station master. But be mindful, she can only pull so many. She's not as powerful as Stanley. Yep, I'll keep that in mind. She'll be able to pull about 7, won't she? Yes, she'll be able to manage that, replied the station master again. So, will that be enough for the presents? Of course. I'll note it down. Ross was then left with his 2 chinchillas, Bob and Dave, who were asleep in their cage whilst he was cleaning the office. He then heard Flora's bell and went out to see her. Flora, he said, we have details for the Christmas presents train you'll be hauling to Ulfstead on Christmas Eve. Will it not overload me, dear? Oh no! There are only 7 trucks, plus the brake van. Flora was relieved. Oh, thank goodness. I was worried I would not manage. You'll be fine, assured the station master. Flora smiled, as she was looking forward to taking the presents to Ulfstead. Then Flora left, and Stanley pulled in with a passenger train. Is everything ready for Christmas? Asked Stanley. I'd like to ask Santa for an engine-sized spacesuit, or perhaps Don't be daft, Stanley, laughed the station master. You and your space obsession. But if Flora runs into trouble on her run to Ulfstead, will you be on hand? Yes, replied Stanley. I will be. If only I could get a trip to NASA's headquarters in... Don't be daft, I said. Okay, I need to do more work. On you go. Stanley then left. As Christmas drew near, the staff at Great Waterton grew more and more excited. Bob and Dave could sense something was up, with the boxes stacking up in the office where they lived. Bob jumped onto the station master's head, as if to get a view of all the boxes and presents that were building up. Oh, you're interested too, Bob? Then Christmas Eve came, and the station master was out to help loading Flora's train for Ulfstead, and to go to one last meeting at the Great Waterton Mining Museum before Christmas. After he let Bob and Dave out for their morning playtime, he began to help with the loading, but he hadn't closed the cage door properly. Bob snuck his little way among the presents, but no one noticed, not even Ross Pope, the Great Waterton station master. Is everything loaded, dear? Asked Flora. Yes, your guard will send you on your way. I have a meeting at the mining museum. See you later, Flora. The guard then blew his whistle, and Flora was on her way. But no one knew about the fluffy little stowaway. Ross Pope came back to his office after the meeting. He took a glance at the cage and the slightly ajar door. He saw that Dave was present in the cage, but... Bob? Where? Oh, fucking hell. Where the fuck did he go now? Just then, Mr. Pope, you needed up at Ulfstead. There seems to be a fluffy little stowaway in one of Flora's vans. Don't tell me that he's... that rodent! The station master went quickly over to Stanley. Stanley, he said, I need you to take me up to Ulfstead immediately. Bob has hitched a ride on Flora's train and I need to get him back. Timothy, we have a problem. We have a missing chinchilla. Oh, don't be so dramatic, replied the station master. We just need to go and get him back. Okay, said Stanley, but please a ticket to the National Space Centre. I don't think they allow engines, cut in the station master. Stanley quickly left for Ulfstead. Over in Ulfstead, the children were absolutely amazed by the fluffy little creature. Flora's driver and fireman were showing Bob to the children. And they were enjoying it.
This is the fluffiest bringer of Christmas ever,
said a child. Or maybe the fluffiest Christmas present ever, said another.
Who knew that Santa Claus came in such a fluffy little thing? He's soft as a cloud. But chinchillas' fur is that thick so that they can survive in the harsh conditions of the Andes Mountains where they come from, replied Flora. So he's not from Lapland, replied a boy, but from South America. Just then, Stanley arrived with Ross Pope on board. Alright, you cheeky little rodent. It's time we brought you back home. But Flora's driver saw the funny side of it all. The children think he brought their Christmas presents, despite the fact that he chews on the boxes in typical rodent fashion. Well, of course he'd chew on the boxes. He needs to keep them teeth of his trimmed down. Dave as well. But the children were sad to see Bob go. He was the fluffiest bringer of Christmas ever. The fluffiest Santa ever. Was he now? Replied the station master thoughtfully. Well, Bob has more presents to deliver. You were on his nice list anyway. Bye now. Merry Christmas. But after seeing the funny side of it all, it gave him an idea. That evening, Ross Pope was to deliver some presents to his friends and the staff at Great Waterton. The day's events gave him the idea. After giving Bob a dust bath to get his fur nice and clean, he went around delivering presents with Bob. They were amazed and surprised at what was the fluffiest bringer of Christmas they had ever seen. Despite the cold, Bob was enjoying himself. The next morning, on Christmas Day, the station master went into his office to give Bob and Dave some Christmas presents of their own. Some more toys and some special Christmas treats. Safe for chinchillas, of course. Flora, who saw everything, knew that everyone was having a very Great Waterton Christmas.